It is 6:46 right now, and two men on the road traveling to baseball games together. And today they'll throw out the first pitch in Milwaukee. The photo on the left is of their first game at Miller Park, now known as American Family Field. On the right, though, more than a decade later at Wrigley Field. And if you knew the story behind these photos, you'd understand why these moments are much more than just games.
You know, I see the Brewers are in first place, huh?
Tom Schrader and Jim Saletta
Just a lot of fun.
hit it off years ago after their first few conversations, bonding over their love of baseball. How many games, if you could count, do you think you've been to?
Over the years, maybe 300.
With a Brewers and Cubs fan on the call, what could go wrong? For years now. Driving from Barneville, Wisconsin to Milwaukee, Tom travels nearly 2 hours to watch his team play. And from Huntley, Illinois, about an hour from Wrigley Field, Jim has been supporting his team since 1964. The two have been attending Cubs and Brewers matchup games together for 15 years.
We tried to help you with St. Louis, but we only split with them, so.
Many friendships stand the test of time, and the rivals' bond has never seen a challenge. Maybe that's because their test started even before they met.
I know that my life could have ended then. I was told really I had about a 5% chance of living.
On July 31st, 2008,
I know I went to the ball game that day, and it was the fourth of a series with the Cubs.
Jim was walking to his car from the stadium when he had a heart attack.
We saw somebody laying face down in the parking lot, and they weren't moving. So we ran over, and we turned Tom over, and his face was blue.
Jim at the time was the fire chief in Huntley. He had taken the day off with some of his senior staff to go to the game.
I was right near his head, so I started doing the rescue breathing and opening his airway and telling people call 911.
Jim knew cardiac arrest depended on critical moments. He and the other off-duty medical crew did what they could to save Tom until he was taken to the hospital to be joined by his family. He doesn't remember much, but someone who does,
My wife, Tracy.
never
I'm just gonna stay right here.
left his side.
There was this young intern, and she just folded her arms and looked at us and said, "Well, I can't give you any hope at all." I just said, she doesn't have to give us any hope because we've got plenty of our own hope.
For 20 days, the hope and faith was documented on nearly 40 pages of this blue notebook.
I wrote it from the perspective that he's going to be fine and he's going to want to know what happened.
From that moment, your beautiful guardian angel cradled you.
And in typical Tom fashion, no matter how he was feeling, the Brewers always made a difference.
So then he would take every step until he could see Miller Park.
After quadruple bypass surgery, the only thing that calmed Tom down was Brewers baseball games he would listen to through his childhood radio and watch from his hospital window.
So many things have happened that I would have lost out on had I died that day.
How do you thank someone for that?
Yes, well, never enough, that's for sure.
The moment is now something they can all laugh about.
Here's these Cubs fans doing CPR on a Brewers fan, and we both have our colors on. And from a distance, it probably looks like we're mugging them, you know?
Cry about.
We finally arrived at home. You slept soundly for the first time in a very long time. So did I.
And celebrate.
It's always been a dream as I see people throwing out the first pitch to do that anyway, but to do it with my hero is going to be very special.
Tom and Jim will throw out the first pitch of the Cubs and Brewers game Thursday afternoon. A full circle moment that all started in this parking lot.
Tom has been practicing with his throwing arm.
60 feet 6 inches is longer than I remember.
Well, Jim has a few family members traveling today to the ballpark. Well, Tom, he'll have more than 50 people at AmFam. All right, so that is video. You can see it right here of the baseballs that we spotted at Tom's house. He has been practicing his pitch to prepare for today. And we also got video of the framed Brewers and Cubs tickets. So one of them is actually from the game when he had a heart attack. The other is his first game after his release from the hospital. So the tickets are paired with a $2 bill that you can see there that really signifies second chances. And I love that. He keeps that in his house just to never remember, of course, what happened. But then he also reads that diary that I talked about there every year on July 31st Tom, that is the day that he had that heart attack.
Yeah, they say sports brings people together,
Yep.
even from different teams.
Yeah.
And I laughed there when he said, oh, they probably thought we were mugging him for a second there. As going to the Cubs-Brewers series, as you know, it can be intense rivalry for sure, but
Yeah.
helping each other out in the long run.
And what a testimony, what a story, right?
Yeah, certainly. Thanks for sharing that with us.